Trap Squad, Trap Squad, Trap Squad, Trap.
Saturday. It will be the anniversary of Breonna Taylor's death, March 13th.
Jesus Christ, y'all. Jesus.
And
Marcus.
it's been.
Can we count the number of black
year?
people? Can we count the number of black people that have been killed by cops between now and then? We can't. You know why?
It's been a year. It's been a year, and no one has been held accountable. It's been a year, and no one's been held accountable.
Marcus, wait. Yes, there has. The officer has been held accountable for shooting the wall.
All right.
He was charged for putting a hole in the fucking wall. Do you remember that shit? They held him accountable for the fucking wall.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it real quick, Mondale, because this is important. As the 1 year of Breonna Taylor, and this is from the Griot. Shout out to the Griot. Shout out to Demesia Iman. Shout out to Jason Johnson, Griot writer. Shout out to everybody over at the Griot. I like y'all. I write with y'all. I rock with them. When I write stuff, it's always coming out of the Griot. Got something coming out of the Griot. Hopefully soon. I'm gonna submit it and see if they still like me. But I ain't gonna. Let's just.
If they don't put it on Facebook, I bet the Trap Squad fuck with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I got, and it's messy too. It's the messiest thing one of the messiest things I ever wrote in my life, but it's all true.
I got some message about black people that play politics.
Yeah, first we're gonna get into that after this. Wait. God damn it.
It's not.
No, Mondale Robinson, would you wait for a second? As the 1 year anniversary of Breonna Taylor's death approaches, her mother, Tamika Palmer, opened up during a new interview on NBC News with Blaine Alexander. The clip of the interview featured Palmer expressing gratitude about the global support, however, demanding change in action. She expressed the feeling that despite a national movement, there has been no real accountability for the shooting death of her 26-year-old daughter at the hands of Louisville police during a mishandled raid. A raid that also produced a black man getting charged with something for defending himself that a white man would have gotten celebrated for. But we know the story to that. I don't know the difference in the days anymore, she remarked. Nobody's been held accountable, and that's the problem. Police responsible were never arrested nor charged with her violent death. Breonna Taylor became a staple, and this is me being personal, but Breonna Taylor became a staple of just the violence against black people in a historical manner. And it goes across genders, right? Now, black people get targeted. Black men are targeted at the highest rate. Black women are still targeted, right? But Breonna Taylor's death shows that how a mistake that can happen can literally expose a system twice. Once for their lack of responsibility, and second for their ability to cover it up. And then we can talk about the media. The media immediately went into the ex-boyfriend's history, the boyfriend's history, how they sold weed, how they sold drugs, how they did this, that, and the other, but they were at the wrong house. Now, I want y'all to understand this shit clearly, very clearly when I say this right here. When those brothers were doing their thing and selling cannabis, is at the same exact time where states are going legal in cannabis. Whole states are going legal in cannabis, but the media is able to smear black men because they don't want to hold police departments accountable for something that white men are doing right now and making money off of hand over foot. So the travesty in how the media reported this was amazingly crazy. Then they go after Breonna Taylor's history. We cannot allow them to keep dragging our people for the benefit of police having some kind of narrative that they can create about the criminality or the false criminality of African Americans in this country. It's bullshit. They know it's bullshit, and they get away with it because white moderate people don't step up and say this is wrong. That's right, white moderate people. Democrats and Republicans. The only white folks that I see stepping up for us in times like this are white progressive people. But white moderates, will be like, well, I'm on the fence. Ain't no fucking fence. Ain't no fence. There is no fence. There's no fence when somebody gets shot in their sleep. There's no fence that you're trying to say that they were selling drugs out of. So what? American government sold drugs to black people. Y'all ain't say nothing then. It's a travesty, and to be honest with you, Breonna Taylor should be alive right now if they just had the right information and competent people on the back end of things. But they didn't have that, and they killed her, and now they're trying to cover it up, and there's been absolutely no justice for Breonna Taylor whatsoever. They come for us. They come for our queens. Last year we had one of the highest amount of police shootings across the nation in our history. The same summer that we're telling people the police are killing us, they just started killing us even more. 20 more people last year over average. 20 more black people killed, unarmed black people killed from police on average. Last year. You remember that? You remember last year when we were in these streets? They're giving us a reason to justify us being angry at the system. Y'all want to talk to me about forcing the vote for Medicare for all. I want to force the vote for police accountability. You know why?
So whoever said that Ben Dixon is watching on Facebook because they want to be dragged on Instagram, on YouTube, y'all need to stop. Y'all gotta stop.
Man, I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about that shit. Look, back to what I was saying, man. In order for us to get justice for people, in order for us to get justice for our people, y'all better pay fucking attention, man. This ain't no goddamn game. I ain't worried about that drama bullshit. Black people still getting killed around here. Miss me with all the conversations about like, oh well, we need to focus on Biden needs to focus on passing the George Floyd Act. Biden needs to focus. That's what the fuck needs to happen right now. I don't want to hear y'all ain't giving us $15 an hour minimum wage. Y'all can't starve us, make us not be able to pay our bills, and then have your fucking dogs come and kill us in our neighborhoods on accident and never be held accountable, man. I don't give a goddamn about how anybody feels about that. Breonna Taylor should be alive, but she's dead, and ain't nothing happened in a year. All I gotta do is go to the damn police department, the police academy, and I can become a fucking murderer. That's the country we live in right now. Y'all capping out here. Y'all capping. This is the last thing, Mondale. This is the last thing, man. They capping out here. We get people elected, right? We got people having these conversations about. You got Obama sitting up here saying defund the police was a whatever. John Ossoff can't even say during his campaign defund the police. They try to make it some kind of centrist Russian spy gate to say defund the police, but Breonna Taylor still ain't got her damn justice. It's been a year. What do you moderates want us to do? Just die?
So Marcus. So listen, here's what I'm saying. Infinite content. That is not a small acknowledgement. We should let that. Dwayne, can we let that comment stay on the screen for a little longer than it should? Because that is a fucking scary thought that barbers in this country are getting more training than police officers. And if you live in North Carolina and you got a felony conviction, they make it hard for you to even get licensed to be a barber, believe it or not. Listen, here's what I was going to say, Marcus. This tracks well. What you just said tracks well with what we already knew, but white people just found out. The fact that they killed us more last year than they ever had is indicative of this new FBI document that said racists are joining the police force. So in the year when we're screaming about death, black death at the hands of police officers, we already knew that these was racist, not neo-Nazis. And it took them a year to figure out why so many black people died at the hands of cops. I should say it took them 150 years why they figured it out. We already knew that. So the fact that so many people are dying, black people dying by cops, and we got to say black people in this moment, this is not to discount the fact that brown people are dying by cops too, but it's we're talking about the disproportionate number of black men and black women and trans sisters and brothers that are dying by cops. And people are talking about shit that is irrelevant. If we don't acknowledge that, then it may fall on deaf ears. It's just like the green. It's just like not the Green New Deal, the New Deal in general, where they forgot to acknowledge that black people are suffering different than white people, and because they didn't acknowledge explicitly what they wanted to do for black people, we got left out intentionally. If we're talking about policing, the only people that should be involved in this conversation on how to correct what's going on policing should be poor black people, not even Oprah Winfrey and Clyburn. It should be poor black people because we are suffering uniquely as it pertains to death by cops. And anybody that's not willing to acknowledge that 2020 showed black people dying in a different way than anybody else in this country at the hands of police officers, and can't acknowledge that it's something wrong with how we police black people in this country, are racist. And I don't have other word for it other than racist, point blank, period. So Marcus is absolutely spot on when he says that it's been a year plus and Breonna hasn't got justice. And the reason I say plus, because that sister was a black woman before she died, which means she definitely, indefinitely suffered white supremacy in some form or fashion.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know whether it's this coffee, Mondale. I don't know whether it's is this coffee, or I don't know whether it's this story has just made me angry. Like, I gotta check myself right now because I'm about to go ape shit.
You don't,
And
no, you don't though, but you don't though, because you don't.
I just
Man, you lost a family member to cop violence. You don't fucking have to check yourself at all. White supremacists and people supporting this system need to check themselves. You lost a fucking cousin with the same last name as you to death by cop, bro. Anybody telling you to check yourself is bullshit and comfortable with the status quo that's killing black people.
Yeah,
No, you don't.
But my thing is this right here. I don't like. I'm starting to be like, fuck everybody else's talk. Y'all want to talk about the Queen. Y'all want to talk about healthcare. Y'all want to talk about overseas bombing. Y'all want to talk about the environment. Y'all want to talk about, and we have a government entity here that is murdering us. To black people, police officers are the SS.
Wow. Say it again.
Okay. So if you don't understand how serious it is, and I want y'all to come and cancel me. Come on. Bring your fucking ass over here and cancel me, because I said it. This ain't anti-Semitic. This is me saying to black people, police officers are the SS. Trained to kill on sight.
All their targets look like us.
Bro,
let me tell you all their targets.
Let me tell you something. Just today, I had Wody riding shotgun with me. Wody gets up in the window and the cop looks at me and says, "You need to tie that dog down." He just wanted to say something to me. Because there's so many black cops that drove past Wody and was like, "Oh, that's a cute cop. That's a cute dog. That's a cute dog, man. Where you get him from, man? I buy him from you." The one white cop I see, the one white cop that sees him, you need to tie your dog down. You just want to be authoritative. I didn't even move. I just kept driving.
Marcus, this is spot. Listen, bro, and here's what people are. People might say you're trivializing the conversation, but here's what they're not understanding. That same white cop that said something to you about your dog being in the front seat is the same white cop that will pull you over and kill you for nothing other than your dog being in the fucking front seat. And if we're not talking about this instinctly and succinctly, then we are absolutely doing a disservice to all the black people who have lost their lives at the hands of cops. Point blank, period, brother. So I appreciate you saying that, because people may miss the nuance, but black people are dying for little shit like running stop signs. Rest in peace, Sandra Bland. For having their dog in the front seat, or for informing the cops they're exercising their fucking Second Amendment right, Philando Castillo, or for playing with a toy in the park, Tamir Rice. I can keep going on with stupid shit and reasons that black people die for nothing other than being black and American in this country. And y'all motherfuckers want to talk about healthcare and the other litany of shit that does not really stop cops from killing us. Marcus lost a family member to a fucking cop. Don't talk to me about protecting his servant or good cops because none of that shit resonates with my soul or the reality of my life at all. Fuck y'all for that shit.
Yo, listen, check this out. Why should I vote for your ass if you don't believe in defunding the police? On some real shit, America. Why should I support somebody who doesn't believe in defunding the police? My family member got killed, right? Mondale brought that up. So, you know what?
Sorry, Marcus.
No, it's fine. My family member got killed. So why should I support you if you don't believe in defunding the police? Me personally. I'm smart enough to know how policing works.
Marcus, I'm sorry. We have some new followers who don't know the story, and I hate to do this to you. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. But
You can do it. You can do it.
Do you mind how fucking? Because that story was fucking ludicrous. How he lost his life. Do you mind sharing with these people the story around that shit, bro?
No, I'm gonna do this right here. Jonathan Farrell, he played football for Florida A&M University. My cousin played football for FAMU. He was a fucking defensive back, I believe. And he moved to North Carolina with his fiance at the time, and they were about to start a family and get married. And a cop killed him while he was unarmed. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all can look him up. His name is Jonathan Farrell for the new folks. Y'all can look him up. He got into a car accident. Had to kick the back of his window to get out of his car because his doors wouldn't open. Delirious. Not delirious. Let me not say delirious. He goes and he's in a remote area, so he goes to a person's house, knocks on the door, and asks for help. Of course, the white woman says, "Oh, I thought he was trying to break in." Right?
Because all robbers knock on the door. Because all robbers knock on the fucking door when they're trying to break in.
That's right. Robbers knock on the door, so he thought he was trying to break in. Cops come. They see Jonathan, and this part is on film. Jonathan sees the police, and he walks towards the police, thinking that they're there to help him. Has his hands up, and they shoot him 8 times.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
I mean, but listen. That brother, my cousin Spirit, is with me. But here's the more important thing. Fuck you for even trying to tell me I don't want to defund the police.
Right.
Like you can't tell. No one can tell me a damn thing. Not your little moderate black speakers. Not your little moderate ex-president. I don't care about what they got to say about it. They ain't stop him from getting killed. They haven't even said nothing about Breonna Taylor. So it doesn't even matter how famous. Trayvon, listen, Obama said Trayvon could have been my son. Yeah, we know you black. The fuck you mean? So policing in America is my number one issue. I want living wages. I want health care, right? But I also want our communities to be able to thrive and grow and thrive and grow and live in peace without having the modern day SS around us. I was talking to a candidate recently for a city council seat, and I said to her, you got a lot of police backing. I don't care if you get elected. Just know that once you get elected, you got to hold police accountable. And it's a little hard to do when they're in your pocket. And I said, because here's the thing. The people who want more police don't see a police officer all day. Whether you're black or white.
Wow.
And the only police officers that you see are the ones that are protecting your ass.
Are protecting your ass.
Right. So the people who are talking about policing this, that, and the other don't have the same amount of resources for policing in their neighborhoods. If you go to Scottsdale, Arizona, or neighborhoods around Scottsdale in Phoenix, what's the name of it? The mall is out there. They have an outdoor mall. And I'm sorry, I can't even think of it.
It ain't important. We know what you mean. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you go there, right? I went there. They got security guards, and security guards are cool as hell. So I actually asked the cop, the security guard, man, how many cops you see? He was like, I've never seen one since I've been in this job. How long you been working here? 7 years. You've never seen a police officer? Yeah, I saw one drive by, but they just drove out the neighborhood. I think they were here visiting somebody. Now, I went to the south side where I got my hotel in Phoenix. This is Phoenix. This is a white city, white and brown city. And on my way down Central Avenue, I counted 5, 6, 7, turn the corner. I counted like 10 while I was just doing one little visit to one of my partners on the south side. So they put them in our neighborhoods, and the people who put them in our neighborhoods only see the benefit from them. Y'all,
Might I remind you all that the reason police exist in this country is not to protect and serve the citizens, it's to protect and serve the interests of rich people. And anybody that don't know that history don't know why it's toxic for Black people. Period.
yeah. So
Period.
yeah. So it's where the Cheesecake Factory is, Trap Squad. Where the Cheesecake Factory is off of Camelback. That's just to get y'all right. I know what I'm talking about. Wherever the Cheesecake Factory is on Camelback, that's the neighborhood I'm talking about. The Biltmore, boom, Biltmore, that area, right? Biltmore is one of the richest neighborhoods in America.
And the Biltmore Hotel, or I should say the Biltmore Castle, is the largest castle, privately owned house in North America. It was built by Anderson Cooper's grandfather, who was also an exploiter of Black bodies. People don't know this. The Vanderbilts built Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina. So when you see Biltmore, don't be celebrating and shopping there, because you're celebrating Black trauma, Black death, and also white exploitation.
Trap squad.